when I had a really bad period binge and I ate a whole bag of cowboy bark and was moving on to another box of cereal and was like, what the hell is going on? Like, how am I still hungry? Welcome to Cravings Control for Fat Loss. I'm your host, Laura Cavallo, former sugar binger, overeater, and yo-yo dieter turned fat loss and cravings coach for hundreds of busy women. Here at Cravings Control for Fat Loss, I'll be sharing mindset, movement, and metabolism strategies for those who are ready to ditch the fat diet cycle and slim down without counting calories, tracking points, or giving up any of the foods they love. Get ready to embrace progress over perfection, grace over guilt, and bring curiosity and learning to the inevitable ups and downs of your life. Expect a decrease in your cravings while seeing and feeling an improvement in how you look, how you feel, and your overall quality of life. I am so excited you're here, boo. Let's get started. Overeating and giving into every craving for sugar, salt, and alcohol could be bogging down your metabolism and making it harder for you to reach your fat loss goals, not to mention making cravings, hunger, and a tendency to overeat more likely. If you're a busy woman who wants to finally get a handle on cravings and stop the cycle of overeating, then undereating, I want to invite you to add your name to the waitlist for the Cravings Code, which is my signature program designed to help you reduce cravings, hunger, and overeating by up to 70% and prime your metabolism to naturally eat fewer calories and sustainably lose weight. Here's what graduates of the Cravings Code have shared about their experience in the program. Trisha shares, the methods I have tried have always been pretty restrictive calorie-wise. So my mindset has always been, I just need to do this really hard thing and then I can go back to eating quote-unquote normal. The Cravings Code has very much made me feel like I have a new normal, and the strategies I've learned along the way have helped me to look and feel my best. Katie shares, I love the accountability and sharing throughout the program. I think this worked even better than a one-on-one process for me, knowing others are going through the same thing. Lisa shares, my mindset and cravings have improved greatly. Not only can I eat what I want, I have learned to separate my negativity from my food choices. I don't have any guilt or shame when I crave something sweet. I have learned to use the tools to help me be successful. So there you have it. If these are the types of results you want, go to the resource link below and add your name to the waitlist. The second round of the program launches early 2024. By putting your name on the waitlist, you get an exclusive opportunity to enroll early at a discounted rate. After you add your name, you'll get an email with next steps. I can't wait to work with you in 2024. Welcome to another episode of Cravings Control for Fat Loss. My name is Laura Cavallo, your cravings and fat loss coach. And today I have a very exciting podcast episode. I want to share 5 warning signs it's time to approach your nutrition differently. Now, I remember when I was living in Los Angeles and I was going on to year 4, year 5 of my yo-yo dieting and fad dieting and struggling with craving so much that I listened to a podcast episode of the Best Life podcast hosted by my business coach or former business coach, Jill Coleman. And she's also the creator of Moderation 365. And if you've been following me for some time, you know that I credit Jill with being really the catalyst for change within my mindset around nutrition, my habits around nutrition, and just starting to think about things differently. And you know, it's interesting. I've had a lot of guests on the podcast and I've asked the majority of them, like, what was the turning point for you? What was the aha moment? And all of them, including myself, have said that it was never just one moment in time where everything changed. It was like a process. It was a progression. It was over months and years that people were able to turn their life around or make changes or find a more sustainable, healthy approach to whether it was their nutrition or their exercise or, you know, observing signs that they needed to do things differently. And it was very much the same thing that happened to me. I remember, you know, my first warning sign of just wanting to change my life was when I got assaulted when I was 28, moving to LA and becoming a fitness coach. And then the second aha moment was seeing my coach eating dessert and having wine on a Tuesday and then waking up and going on a workout on a Wednesday morning. And she was super fit and still crushing it and killing it. And I was like, holy shit, like, what is she doing? And then that was maybe a year later. And then another year later when I had a really bad period binge, and I ate a whole bag of cowboy bark and was moving on to another box of cereal and was like, what the hell is going on? Like, how am I still hungry and not full? And then later on, closer to sort of the end of my 5-year binge and restrict cycle, is when my overeating was getting more frequent and my desire to want to throw up was becoming more prominent in my mind. And sometimes I would do it because I felt so full and sick and didn't want to go to bed feeling like that. And then I started realizing that those thoughts were becoming more frequent. And so there was a lot of warning signs throughout my journey. And so today I just wanted to share some concrete things that you can look out for in your life currently to maybe start to get curious and ask yourself, like, is this a sign that things aren't working? Is this a sign that it's time for something new? Is this the sign that I have been waiting and looking for to start to do things differently? And so I hope that you get some guidance and inspiration and empowerment from this episode. And I will be sharing a little bit more about, my journey as well, and some of the warning signs that I saw. So the first warning sign to look out for when it comes to observing your nutrition and your approach to your nutrition is, are you stuck in the same patterns? Are you in this cycle that keeps repeating itself year after year, or month after month, or day after day? And a pattern that I went through was, okay, so I decided I wanted to lose weight or slim down. And then it was like whatever diet was like the most cool or in at that time. And at first it was like paleo, and then I did keto for 6 months. But then once I failed, right? Or like I stopped eating the way I was supposed to eat, or, I had a overindulgent weekend. I felt like I fell off, or I wasn't seeing results. Then I would just diet hop. I would just be like, okay, well, that didn't work for me, so time to move on. And then the same thing would happen. I would come into contact with a new diet protocol or fad diet. It would ask me to restrict or eliminate. My cravings would get worse. Then I would feel out of control because I would indulge and then overeat, and then I would restrict. And I would still try and follow these diets, but unsuccessfully. And it was the same thing over and over and over and over. It was like, which diet are you on now? Like, that's pretty much what it was like. And so I want you to observe yourself. Are you feeling stuck in the same diet? Are you doing the same diet over and over? And are you gaining and losing the same 5 to 10 pounds? Are you having the same thoughts? Are you having the same ideas around your body and your weight and your ability to be successful in some of these approaches? Are you coming into contact with the same challenges? Are the same things coming up? And only you can be honest with yourself about that, right? And I wish I had someone saying this to me on the other side of a podcast episode. Oh, and I never shared what Jill had talked about in that podcast episode. I remember her just talking about Moderation 365 and some of the strategies that she would implement. I don't remember what they are now, but it just was the catalyst for me to just start thinking critically about things. And so start to think critically about things. Start to think critically about your habits and routines and patterns. What are you seeing? What are you observing? Maybe you need to do a cravings and nutrition journal to observe if there are any patterns between your cravings and your overeating. Maybe you can take a step back and look at things on a macro scale. Where were you in the beginning of this year? Were you still trying to do Whole30 or 21-day fix, or go to your workout classes and you're still stuck in that pattern and maybe you're not seeing success, or it's the same sort of ebb and flow? Maybe you have to take even bigger step back and look at the last 5 years or the last 10 years. Have you been doing the same old thing? Have you been stuck in the same pattern? Your nutrition approach should help you get out of patterns that you're stuck in. It shouldn't ask you to restrict or eliminate the foods that you enjoy. It should make you feel empowered. It should help you get unstuck, right? It should align with your lifestyle. It shouldn't be something that you feel like you always constantly have to go back to because you fell off of your diet routine. A sustainable nutrition approach you never fall off of and you never have to go back to. It's more of this ebb and flow in the gray area where you are practicing these habits and tips and strategies in more of a flow. It's never black or white or good or bad. You're never stuck in the same old pattern having to go back to it. It becomes a natural part of your life. So that would be the first warning sign. So the second warning sign that it's time to approach your nutrition differently is that you're not seeing results with what you're doing, especially if you're stuck in the same pattern, right? Especially if you've gone back to the same diet, the same approach, XYZ, and you're not seeing results. And these could be any results. These could be weight loss or fat loss, or you're not seeing added muscle definition, or you're not developing a healthier relationship with food. Maybe your hunger and cravings cues aren't turning on like you want them to. Maybe your sleep hasn't improved, your bowel movements haven't improved. Whatever results you're trying to aim for, maybe your health markers haven't improved at the doctor, right? So you're stuck. You haven't seen results how you've wanted. And of course, it's going to take time, right? Being in a program like Satisful Nutrition and the Cravings Code, that's going to take some time for you to see results, right? It's not a quick fix program. But when it comes to fat dieting for months and years, right? If you're not seeing results with what you're trying to do, then it's probably time to start to approach things differently. And to go hand in hand with that, not just lack of results, because we know that sometimes going on a diet, we can lose 10 pounds in 30 days if we are more restrictive and we're not really doing habits that are super healthy for us. But more than lack of results, I'm talking about lack of sustainable results, meaning results that last over months and years, right? It's not enough to just lose the weight, right? Then and there, right? For 30 days. Oftentimes, because of these restrictive protocols, then you end up gaining it back and some. So it's not just lack of results there in the moment or as a result of the diet, it's afterwards, maintaining it, sustaining it. And so if you've gained the same 5 to 10 pounds, 15, 20, 30 pounds, I have women in my DMs who've lost 50 pounds and they gain 30 back, right? That is not sustainable results. That is not a sustainable approach to your nutrition and your lifestyle that's going to help you get to where you want to be, to help you feel good, to help you feel accomplished. So we're looking for sustainable results. Your nutrition routine, and this is what we see with Satisful Nutrition, which is the basis of the Cravings Code, our clients start to see results right away. They start to feel better. They have more energy. They aren't craving as much in the afternoon. Their nighttime hunger is more stabilized. They are starting to poop better. Oh man, I got clients that used to poop once per week. Now they're pooping every fucking day. You deserve to poop every day. They're not waking up in the middle of the night. Their sleep has improved. They are feeling more confident in control with their nutrition. So yes, of course, a program takes time for us to see body change results, right? I like to say minimum of 6 weeks up to 12 weeks where we start to see fat loss, muscle gain, and really get into our groove. But your nutrition routine should help you feel better right away. You should start to see and feel results right away outside of the scale with your cravings, with your hunger, your metabolism stabilizing, your hunger and your cravings activating. That means your metabolism's happy. We need those things. That is what your nutrition routine should provide for you. The third warning sign that it's time to approach your nutrition differently is that you are living in fear, stress, and anxiety on a daily and weekly basis. The thought of having to figure out what you're going to have for breakfast, or the thought of going out to a restaurant, or the fear of the weekend that you don't know how to stay on routine or be in control, or that you're going on vacation and that every moment of your day or the majority of your week is consumed by these thoughts around your diet and your weight and the scale and the food. And is this right? Is that right? Is this good? Is this allowed? Blah, 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 blah. It's so much noise. It's so much noise, right? And I never realized this until I heard another coach say it, but you are spending so much time worrying and fearing and stressing about every single bite of food or every meal or the scale that your mental bandwidth, your thoughts, the energy that you put into your thoughts and what you have to do that day, that the mental bandwidth and the attention that you are exerting is going all towards thinking about diet and food and your body and fat loss, when you have so much other stuff that you could be thinking about, that you could be doing, that you could be focusing on, that are probably so much more important, right, than like what you're going to have for lunch, right? Or if like having one glass of wine is going to throw you off the rails for the weekend. So if you constantly feel this fear or stress and anxiety around this element of your life, around your nutrition, around eating, around fat loss, the scale, dieting, it is no way to live. It is no way to live. And I'm thinking back to myself. I'm not going to cry, but I want to cry. I'm getting emotional because it was all consuming. It was so stressful. It was tiring. It was exhausting to just try and figure out which food rule I was going to do that day or that week. And so your nutrition approach should provide ease and effortlessness and an applicability into your life that doesn't feel like a chore, that doesn't feel like stress, that doesn't feel like torture. It should be easy and free. And so that's why I created Satisful Nutrition, is because I needed something that would free up the mental space, that would still help me control cravings and would allow me to still reach my goals and my clients too. And so that is one major warning sign. Major. I can say without fail that I have no fear, no stress, no anxiety anymore around any part of my nutrition, any part of my health journey, any part of my fitness or exercise routine at all. At all. Maybe sometimes a little frustration with my exercise routine because I'm not feeling very motivated right now or excited about my program. So that's something I have to figure out. But ultimately, it's easy. It comes with effortlessness. And it feels natural. Your nutrition routine should provide ease and empowerment and confidence. It should not be giving you fear, stress, or anxiety. It should be a natural part of your day. It should be something you're excited to practice, excited to do, excited to share with your family and friends. The fourth warning sign that it's time to approach your nutrition differently is that things are getting worse. Okay? Things are getting worse. You are having to restrict more. Maybe you're overeating or binging more. You're putting more weight on. You're feeling more stress, more anxiety. You're living in more fear. You have more food rules. You're feeling a stronger desire to be in control. You feel no confidence at all with any of your habits or routines. You're confused. You don't know what's going on. And things are just getting worse. Your nutrition approach should help things get better. It should free up that mental energy. It should give you a guide on how to eat that is intuitive and natural and fits with your lifestyle and helps you stabilize cravings and hunger and reduces the amount of overeating that you're doing and helps you feel more confident and in control in your day-to-day. It should help you stabilize your cravings and hunger and support and strengthen your metabolism and stabilize your weight. I can't tell you how many women start eating Satisful. They don't even try for fat loss or weight loss, and they start losing inches because they are nourishing their bodies. They are eating more consistently. And as a result, they're losing inches. And this is what we see happen in the Cravings Code. And it's not a goal of the Cravings Code to help you with fat loss. It's the goal of the Cravings Code to help you stabilize your cravings and hunger and strengthen your metabolism and stop self-sabotage, and in turn help you realize your unique cravings code so that you can create the foundational habits to help you sustainably lose weight and naturally eat less. But because Satisful Nutrition is so powerful, it has these built-in results. Clients start losing inches. Their results start improving, and things don't get worse, things get better almost immediately. I've had clients with less cravings in a day or two. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Things should get better, not worse for you. The last warning sign, it's a time to approach your nutrition differently, is that you feel like crap. You are stressed out, you're constipated, you're not sleeping well, you might have severe health issues, you mentally feel exhausted, you have aches, you have pains, you feel restricted, and you just don't feel happy. And I remember when I was on keto that I had more energy on keto, and it was because there wasn't a lot of like the insulin spikes. But I was having some severe health issues, and it just it was like warning lights all around me that I ignored. I was pooping white, like my poop was white. It was wild. It was like my food was going right through me. It wasn't even stopping in my stomach where the bile would release, and the bile is what gives your poop the brown color. And I went to the doctor, and he's like, I recommend you get off this diet. Like, your food is literally passing through you so fast, you're not absorbing any nutrients, and you're pooping white. And I was like, well, like that's the cost of like fat loss and the diet. And it just wasn't healthy. It wasn't right. And I wasn't really living my life to the fullest. I wasn't able to do things that I loved, like going out to eat with my friends or having cocktails or exercising in the way I wanted. So I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like it was a match, but I just kept going. And so your nutrition approach should add to your life. It should make you feel good. It should make you feel empowered, energized, healthy, pooping regularly, helping you have restful sleep. It should support you during times of stress. It should support you during times of celebration and joy. It should not be something that makes you feel worse or makes you feel stressed or makes you feel anxious. And so those are the 5 warning signs that it's time to approach your nutrition differently. And these are warning signs that I wish I had listened to earlier myself. They are warning signs that when clients come to me and they fill out application forms to work with me or intake forms, or we meet during our live calls for the Cravings Code, that these warning signs come up time and time again. Women in the same old pattern, doing the same thing over and over without seeing results for months and years and decades. Women living in fear, feeling stressed, feeling anxious about their food choices, about their nutrition, about their diet, about their body. And over time, things get worse and worse and worse. I have 2 women that I've worked with recently who were tracking macros. And they came to me because they wanted to start approaching fat loss without having to track their food. And one woman, for the last year and a half, even though she was tracking her nutrition, she gained 15 pounds because the restrictiveness and the stress and the having to hit the numbers made her go through periods of restriction and then overeating. So for her, that nutrition protocol made things worse for her. And it took her a year to finally realize. And so the last thing, right, that we talked about is like she felt like crap. She didn't feel good. Her nutrition approach was not mentally supportive. It was not physically supported. So these are the 5 warning signs. I want you to be super honest with yourself. Be real, be raw, get to the root of this shit. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay if you've been stuck in the same old pattern or you're not seeing results, you're living in fear, stress, anxiety. Now is the time to make a change. Okay. It's okay if you're in your 30s. It's okay if you're in your 40s. It's okay in your 50s or 60s. I've worked with women recently who've been dieting since they were 12 and they're in their 60s, and they are so elated and so comforted and so happy that they found Satisful Nutrition, that they found something that's so easy and effortless and intuitive and just aligns with their lifestyle. So it's not too late. Okay. It's not too late to approach your nutrition differently with a healthier mindset and something that's going to be supportive and help you get results and help you feel excited and with a sense of ease where things don't get worse and you don't feel like crap, but you feel good and empowered. So as always, I'm here for you. I'd love to know what you think of this episode, and I hope this was helpful and informative. Drop me a note below. Just click my Instagram link and send me a message and let me know what you thought of today's episode, and I can't wait to work with you in the future. Talk to you soon.